We're just about 2 weeks away from the first official Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, and there is a ton of speculation, leaks, and just overall predictions about what games we could possibly see announced for the next-gen Nintendo console. Today we're going to be looking at just 5 games that I think have a pretty good chance at being announced for Switch 2. This is all just speculation though, so please don't take this video as 100% proof that these games are coming to Switch 2 or anything like that. But yeah, anyway, without further delay, let's just get right into it. At number 1, we have Elden Ring. Elden Ring was a massive release in 2022. It won multiple awards, including Game of the Year. It quickly became a bestseller on platforms like Steam and PlayStation. It even got a DLC expansion that was so good, it was in running for Game of the Year in 2024, 2 years after the game's initial release date. It's a beautiful looking game, it's challenging but rewarding, the story and lore is deep and well written, and the gameplay itself is Souls-like at its peak. If any From Software game was coming to Switch 2, it just has to be Elden Ring. And to be clear, they have previously released a game on the original Switch, that of course being Dark Souls 1 Remastered, and there is also leaks that hint at Elden Ring Definitive Edition being in the works for Switch 2, which is most likely going to be including both Elden Ring and the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC expansion. If these leaks are correct, they estimate that we may see Elden Ring on Switch 2 before the end of 2025. For our second pick, we have Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact was announced for the original Switch about 3 years ago. It got an official Nintendo trailer and everything, but it obviously never ended up releasing. My first video ever here on the channel was actually talking about the Switch version of Genshin and how I thought it was never going to be released for the original Switch. The main point of that video was that Genshin has progressively gotten more demanding as time has gone on, and I made the prediction that they had silently canceled the Switch version and were instead focusing their efforts on bringing the game to Switch 2 instead. Fast forward to now in 2025, and yeah, the game still hasn't released on Switch, and we're just 2 weeks away from the full Switch 2 reveal. I imagine Genshin is probably going to be released on Switch 2 possibly at or near the launch. We know the Switch 2 has fundamentally very similar hardware to Switch 1. I mean, the console is fully backwards compatible with the previous Switch, so I imagine a lot of the work that they did developing Genshin for Switch 1 carried over to the development of the Switch 2 version. If that is the case, I could easily see this game releasing on Switch 2 very early in its life cycle, and actually running well too, given the Switch 2 hardware leaks. At number 3, we have Halo, the Master Chief Collection. Microsoft has made it pretty clear that they intend to bring their games to as many platforms as possible, including the Nintendo Switch, although it wasn't clear if they meant Switch 1 or the next console after it. Now that we are so close to Switch 2's release, it feels pretty clear that it was most likely Switch 2 that they were referencing. One of the games that has been highly rumored to be coming to Switch 2 from Microsoft's catalog is Halo. Halo, the Master Chief Collection it's basically just a collection of all of the original Halo games, including Halo Combat Evolved, Halo 2, Halo 3, all of those. These games included their original story campaigns and also even had multiplayer modes, which was pretty cool to see. Imagine just having Halo 3 multiplayer, but on your Nintendo console. It would be pretty crazy to see. For our fourth pick, we have Red Dead Redemption 2. This game I feel like would be perfect for the Nintendo Switch 2. It's still, in my opinion, one of the best looking games ever, even though it's like, 7 years old now. I still find myself going back and playing it, even though I've beaten it like twice already. And it's just such a beautiful looking game. It's super detailed. The story is great. The characters are great. And yeah, it still kind of hurts that it didn't win Game of the Year back in 2018. Just like Elden Ring, this one has been speculated to be in the works right now for the Nintendo Switch 2, which honestly wouldn't surprise me too much, given that, again, the Switch 2 hardware leaks show that this thing is more than capable of being able to run something like Red Dead 2. They obviously did release Red Dead Redemption 1 on the original Nintendo Switch, as well as a few other Rockstar games like LA Noire and GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition. So yeah, Rockstar has shown that they are interested in supporting the Nintendo Switch 1, and I imagine they're going to carry that over to Switch 2, and I feel like Red Dead 2 is just the perfect game for them to actually do that. That and of course GTA 5. And the last game on this list is another one that is pretty much all but confirmed, and that is Call of Duty. This one is really interesting because Microsoft has pretty much said that they are going to be bringing Call of Duty to Nintendo's platform. Of course, that most likely being Nintendo Switch 2, but it has not been clear as to what Call of Duty game will be coming over to Switch 2, whether that's going to be the current ones, that of course being Black Ops 6 and Call of Duty Warzone, if it's going to be Call of Duty 2025, whatever that ends up being. It might even be their mobile games. It might even be Call of Duty Mobile or Warzone Mobile. It's pretty tough to pinpoint exactly what they plan on bringing over to the Nintendo Switch. If I had to personally guess, I would think it's probably going to be at least one of their mobile games like Call of Duty Mobile or Warzone Mobile, and more likely than not, they might be trying to bring something like the next Call of Duty game over as well, Call of Duty 2025 that is. It seems like they're not moving on from the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One generation just yet, so if they are making these new Call of Duty games with those consoles in mind, I think they will still have no problem running on Nintendo Switch 2. But those are just 5 games that I think will end up coming to Nintendo Switch 2. They might be announced at the Nintendo Direct in April, they might not, they might come later on, but I do think that all of these games have a very, very good chance of coming out on Nintendo Switch. There are definitely plenty more games that could potentially be coming to Switch 2. If you have any predictions or even just like wishful thinking of games that you want to come to Switch 2, let me know in the comments down below. Always interested in interacting with you guys down there. But yeah, with all of that being said though, guys, thank you for watching this video. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.